Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. It's Roger Gewald with your Grown-Up's Guide to Financial Enlightenment. Let's hack our way through the jargon jungle and throw out all the rubbish, bogus information, and fake news that's been dumped on us and get to the truth. I don't know about you folks, but I'm really getting tired of listening to me talk about the current government and governments before it and why they don't uncouple the price of electricity from the price of gas. They have been coupled together, as I've been saying, since the 80s, and gas, it's far more expensive than electricity. Electricity is 2/3 of our household bills, and on some days in Britain, in the UK, as much as 80% of our electricity doesn't even come from gas. It comes from far more cheaper sources: wind, power, nuclear, solar, etc. The government is told over and over to do this, but they don't. Rishi Sunak's speech last night was, to me, more of the same waffle that I heard during his and Liz Truss's campaign for their election. Truth, beauty, justice. I'm going to do 5 things. There was no how, why, when, what. It's just all words. It's just all flannel and waffle. Why doesn't he cut the price of electricity? He could reduce our electricity bills, experts calculate, in an afternoon by £1,500 per home, but he doesn't do it. And now on top of this, they're going to increase the standing charges. This is really ridiculous. Why? Because they bailed out the costs of the energy giants taking over all of the failed small electricity companies. A lot of electricity and energy companies were set up, as you know, to compete with the giants and give us a more level playing field, a more fair option when it comes to buying our home energy. Many of those companies weren't fit for purpose, and the regulator wasn't up to its job in every case, and let a lot of these companies set up when they never should have. With both those companies and the new entrants that were okay, they both got rocketed as soon as prices started jumping around, and they collapsed. And so now the big guys, the ones that are making all the huge amounts of money by overcharging us for electricity, are now bailing them out and taking them over and taking on their customers. But they're being subsidized by the government, who's turning around and authorizing them to increase the standing charges so that we, as usual, Mr. Muggins, Mrs. Muggins, Ms. Muggins, they Muggins, end up paying for it. It's just disgusting. This latest cash heist will pay out for that bailout, which never should have been allowed to happen. Anyway, telling you this story could go on all day long. The lack of fairness, transparency, the appalling way the government actually treats us while telling us that they're looking after us is just deplorable. I mean, we are being given by both sides, because Keir Starmer's not going to come up with anything better. He's just waiting to collect the broken pieces. I think that's a real mistake on Labour's part. If they think they're going to get Labour votes after all these strikes ruining Christmas and crippling the country, they need to think again. But all of these people are giving us what I call the mushroom treatment. That's keeping us completely in the dark and feeding us on you-know-what. Suffice it to say, if we're speaking about economics, then our government is being fairly economical with the truth. As I've been saying for years, we desperately need a consumer minister. We need somebody with no vested interests, politically or otherwise, or anything else, and whose only job is to protect and defend consumers and their interests against the ineptitude, self-interest, and greed of government and massive organizations. In this country, as in many others, we have nothing in between this terrible system of governments which nobody can repose any confidence on when things get tough like this, and who have no solutions other than to protect their own jobs. And on the other hand, unions who are unreasonable in their demands. Not all of them, but many of them. And we need someone sensible in the middle who can call things out and make things happen. Journalists do their best to call things out. They can point out wrongs, but they cannot right those wrongs. And that's what's missing here, because For me, I'm just so tired of listening to all these politicians, smug Jeremy Hunt, telling us how wonderfully we're doing while he's raising stealth taxes all over the place. This standing charge increase is yet another stealth tax. It's just taking money off us, but still being able to say, hey, we haven't raised any taxes. Look how wonderful we are. It's just all such BS. I'm so sick of it. And nobody seems to want to do anything about it. And it goes on and on and on. And the opposition says, don't worry, we'll take care of everything. And they offer nothing concrete, no more solutions than the guys in power. People are saying, oh, let's bring Boris back. Well, I mean, what good would that do? Hey, we've had so many prime ministers that I'm told that the question, who is our prime minister, has even been removed from the NHS dementia test. Not really, but still. Anyway, I wish you all an extremely happy, healthy, prosperous, loving, successful 2023, and we'll see you again very soon. Roger and out.